Why would my nasty, abusive stepfather, Jeff Kuhn, lie about his interaction, relationship, and communications with David Noland's cousin, Jeremy Polderman? Okay, David Noland is the freak that came to my door and tried to force his way in and assault me. Go watch my previous videos if you don't know that story. So that goes down, and as I do with all of my assailants, I'm looking at this targeted attack and I'm like, okay, where's this coming from? Because this isn't just a happenstance thing. So I start investigating and I find out that my stepfather, Jeff Kuhn, was previously brother-in-laws with David Noland's cousin. Okay, so Jeff was previously married to Dawn Blauwkamp Kuhn. He was cheating on Dawn with my mother, who was married to my father. They were having an affair while they were both teachers at Forest Hills Northern Middle School. While I was in the school, while my brother was in the school. Really gross. So eventually, after getting Dawn pregnant while he was cheating on her with my mom, he left Dawn, divorced her, and is now married to my mother. Anyway, Dawn has 3 sisters. So there's the godmother, Marianne Shishon Blauwkamp, Amy Blauwkamp Atencio, Lisa Blauwkamp Brennan, and last but not least of Dawn's sisters, Julie Blauwkamp Polderman Haga. She was married to Jeremy Polderman. So while Jeff and Dawn were married, Julie and Jeremy Polderman were married. So Jeff and Jeremy were brother-in-laws, okay? And they were buddies. You know, they were good friends. They were close. So Jeremy Polderman is David Noland's cousin now, okay? So he married Jessica Rabideau. David Noland is the son of Rita Rabideau Noland. So maiden name Rabideau, they're cousins, right? Jessica and David are cousins. David's sister, Catherine, was a bridesmaid in Jeremy Polderman and Jessica Rabideau's wedding. And I'm not trying to jump to conclusions, but it definitely sets off red flags for me. Anything Jeff Kuhn related, anything to do with the Blauwkamp family, because they are bad news too, is cause for serious alarm for me. So I'm like, all right, let me look into this further. So on February 5th, 2023, I shoot Jeremy Polderman a cold call out of the blue. I'll play the recording of that call, but essentially I tell him, my name's Brittany. I'm wondering what kind of relationship you have with Jeff Kuhn. Are you guys still buddies? Do you still keep in contact? Like what's the deal there? And he doesn't know who I am. Jeremy didn't know who I was. I didn't say like Brittany Martin. I didn't say I had any relation to them. I just started going into what's your relationship with the Kuhns and Blauwkamps. So Jeremy's answering and saying, yeah, Jeff and I talk, from time to time here and there. We're still in contact. We communicate. What's going on? At that point, I'd gotten what I needed to know. I know I'm not going to get any type of like confession or anything out of anyone. So, and I don't have any reason to lie. So I was straight up just like, oh, I'm Jeff Kuhn's stepdaughter. And listen, I'm trying to figure out what type of situation I'm dealing with here. Jeff Kuhn, some of the stuff he's involved in. I'm trying to get a grasp on it.
Hello.
Hi, is this Jeremy?
Yeah, who's calling?
This is Brittany. I had a question for you. So I'm wondering what type of, are you still on good terms with Julie Blauwkamp?
I don't know, possibly.
Okay. What about Jeff Kuhn, Dawn's ex-husband?
Yep. I talk to him once in a while.
Yeah? Okay. Okay. And
He and I communicate from time to time via Facebook. What's going on?
oh, I'm Jeff Kuhn's stepdaughter. And I just had some questions regarding some of his behavior and things he's involved in. And I know asking them, they won't give it to me straight. So I was just wondering what type of relationship you guys still had.
You're Carrie's daughter?
Yep. Do you know my mom?
I know that Jeff is married to her.
Yeah, the affair and everything. So yeah, I was in the middle school when that was going on. They were both teachers, but yeah, not a huge fan of Jeff. So I'm just trying to figure out what kind of situation I'm dealing with because he's got a lot going on. So
I don't know. He's always been great to me.
yeah, he's got a good public persona, and so all right, thank you.
All right.
All right, bye.
Immediately after I hung up the phone with Jeremy, I called my mom because I knew I had to get her on the phone and get her and Jeff's statement before any relay of information from Jeremy got back to them so they could corroborate their stories, right? So here are the relevant portions of the phone call with my mom.
Do you know who Jeremy Polderman is?
No.
Julie Blauwkamp Haga, Dawn's sister, her ex-husband.
No.
You don't know who he is?
No.
Can you ask Jeff if he knows who he is?
What's his name?
Jeremy Polderman.
Just a minute. When was she married to him?
Till about 2008.
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, that's Julie's ex-husband.
Are they friends? When's the last time they talked?
Years, probably when.
Can you just ask?
Just a minute. It's been years. He doesn't remember the last time he talked to him.
How many years? Like since Dawn and him divorced? Are they like friends?
He knows him, but he doesn't hang out with him or stay in contact with him or anything.
At all?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're Facebook friends or something, but other than that, I don't remember Jeff even talking about him.
Okay, but can you ask him if they're like friends, like they communicate, like years as in like what?
He just said he hasn't talked to him in years. He doesn't remember the last time he talked to him. He doesn't know. It's been a long time. Probably since he and Dawn split. Well, actually, I think
So
it would have been before, maybe even before that, because he divorced in 2008, you said? So
that's
probably
when his last on record had a house with Julie, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So before that?
It was, yeah. I mean, he said he doesn't remember. Like it's been, and he hasn't seen him or talked to him.
When did Jeff divorce Dawn?
In 2011,
So
2012 maybe. But Jeremy was out of the picture before that. So other than
okay.
maybe Facebook friends, but they're not in contact.
Okay. Are you certain?
Yeah, he just said he doesn't remember the last time. It's been years and years.
Can I get a
10 years
ballpark
ago.
of like
10 years ago. Maybe something like that.
Okay. That's interesting. Jeremy Polderman is married. He's cousins with David Noland now. The freak who tried to bust into my apartment.
Oh.
Shove me. Yep. So that's concerning because that's one divorce removed. Him and Jeff are family members. David Noland and Jeff are family members.
They're not family. What are you talking about? They're not even close to family members.
What? He was a brother-in-law.
By marriage, not by blood.
So?
And they've been split.
What?
So they don't. That'd be like saying that I'm connected to Matt Rapanis.
You are family members with Matt Rapanis.
No, I'm not. He's my sister's ex-husband. I'm not connected to him.
Yes, you are, because you like
I have a niece and nephew that's their dad,
yeah, you
but
share
that doesn't
blood. You share
but that
blood.
doesn't mean how could you say that I'm in cahoots with Matt Rapanis?
What did I
just
say
because
cahoots with?
I
said
don't
it's
know, but
concerning that there's the connection
well,
there. And to equate it to the Rapanis family or the Skinner family or any of our family is way out of bounds, given the dysfunction of all the relationships. A lot of people maintain good relationships, and the degree of separation isn't really a factor in whether or not they're close. Family is family. You're basically saying that Amy. You're close with Dawn. Jeff and Dawn are that's still a family unit. So.
Okay. Well. Okay. What is it that
you
you're?
talk
What
to
is
Dawn?
it that,
I'm just trying to get an idea of what's going on because I don't like the fact that Jeff Kuhn is removed family members with the dude that tried to bust into my apartment that I don't know.
I can guarantee you, Jeff has no idea who that guy is. Guaranteed.
You just told me that him and Jeremy Polderman haven't talked in over 10 years, and that's not true.
Yeah. I'm sure they haven't. Jeff just said, he goes, I don't remember the last time I talked to Jeremy. It's been a long time.
Jeff lies a lot. Jeff is a liar.
Right away, as you can see, these are two totally different stories from what Jeremy's telling me and then what Chip is relaying from Jeff's mouth. According to Jeff, it's been years and years, so long he can't even remember the last time they communicated. Doesn't even know. So long. And I'm asking questions in every which way, trying to get affirmative denials from every angle to make sure that when I turn and hit her with, well, that's interesting because that's not what Jeremy Polderman told me, there's no way that they can walk it back and wiggle out of it.
All right. Well, what is it
Jeremy
that you want
said
from
differently.
me?
Jeremy said differently.
Okay.
So that's a concern.
Okay.
What does okay mean?
Well, I don't know what you want me to say, and it doesn't, actually, there's nothing I can say. So.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
No.
That's not an answer.
I've given you a response numerous times, and you don't like my response, so, okay.
No, I'm asking, what do you mean? What was your response?
I said, Jeff is not connected to Jeremy, whatever his name is. He knows who he is. He was married to Dawn's sister at some point in time, and they've been divorced. So they're not.
But I know, but I'm telling you that answer that you gave me was refuted by Jeremy himself.
Okay.
So now what's your answer?
I'm not going to have this conversation because you're trying to back me in a corner, and I'm not going to do that. So,
no, what do you mean? I'm trying to, like, have a conversation.
Jeff has zero to do with this Noland guy. Jeff has zero to do with this Noland guy. That's the bottom line. That's it. There's no more discussion. So you want to twist something with his ex-brother-in-law?
I'm not twisting anything.
You can, well, whatever.
I'm
but
telling
I'm not
you,
going to continue.
all we're going on right now is that Jeff lied.
Okay, well, whatever. He doesn't remember the last time he talked to Jeremy.
That's really weird.
If that answer's not good enough for you, sorry.
It's a lie.
Okay, whatever.
According to Jeremy.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to.
So when is the last time Jeff hung out with Jeremy?
They communicate from time to time, here and there.
Okay.
They stay in in contact.
Okay. Well, then they stay in contact. How long has it been?
Not too long.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm not going to get dragged into this. There's
what? What are you getting dragged?
Because you're creating something that is not there. And I'm not going to,
what am I creating that's not there? I'm asking you. I see a connection.
I'm telling you.
I just think it's weird that Jeff would deny any contact or interaction over 10 years.
I haven't talked to him in years.
Right.
I said
over
10.
Years and years. Oh.
I said
okay,
10.
so now that I called it out,
he said I have not talked to him in years. That's what he said.
And I asked you for a more definitive statement and to ask him, and you said a long
he said,
time
I don't know.
Before the divorce.
Okay,
right.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
So I beat the dead horse. This is like my mom's typical gaslighting, manipulative, like DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim offender shit. My mom loves to pull that shit. I'm trying to bring up a valid point. Like, all I'm trying to say is that Jeff lied. So this is what I'm raising concern about right now. She won't have it. There's nothing she could say. She's whatever. Now here, though, is what I consider a dagger. Little did my mom and Jeff Kuhn know that I already knew that Jeff and Jeremy Polderman had been communicating because I had access to the Verizon account. And so I could see their phone records. So not only is this indicative of deception, but also it's important to note that this time period where I'm seeing these texts and communications between Jeff and Jeremy Polderman is highly relevant. If you remember from my last videos, July 12th, 2021 is the day I blew it by accidentally sending the text to my mom that I meant to send to Grace, letting her know that I knew that her and Jeff Kuhn were involved. I blew my cover. After that, everything just became a huge shit show. Everything was on fire. These texts that are going out are on July 19th. That's within that week period that everything is getting eviscerated. It's right after I had those conversations with my mom regarding Katie Farrow, and a number of other things were going on in that time as well. One of those things was on July 19th. Okay, so this is the scene for the story I'm about to tell about the bush goblin night stalker. This area right here. Bush goblin night stalker. It's probably the proper moniker for the person I'm about to tell the story about. So I couldn't sleep, and I went out onto my balcony summer night just to have a change of scenery, and it was like 4 a.m, and as soon as I walked out, this person emerged from behind the bushes and just walked on a beeline towards my apartment, holding eye contact with me the whole time, like looking up at me. And they stopped right after they got past the grass and just screeching halt, stopped dead in their tracks and just stood there motionless, staring up at me. And they maintained this statue-like position for probably like 10 minutes straight, staring up at me. I was literally just sitting on my chair, playing on my phone. This whole ordeal lasted 38 minutes. They didn't stand the whole time. After 10 minutes, they like turned and took a few steps back and sat right on that curb, still facing towards me, staring. And then they would turn and adjust their body and face the road, and then intermittently turn back and stare at me for minutes at a time. And then a red sports car came creeping down College, really slow, doing a drive-by, and, you know, that's fine, but about 30 seconds later, came by again. Then it proceeded to come by a third time, just driving slow, being sus, and it was just in these short time periods, so it was obviously just circling my block, doing laps, and it came by a fourth and a fifth time. The last two times it was driving regular speed, and I wasn't as polished on my capturing evidence game, so I didn't even start recording until like the very end of this entire 38-minute ordeal, because at first I was trying to chalk it up to like, okay, crazy timing, it's 4 a.m, but, you know, this person will probably, you know, go and do whatever they're doing, you know, it's not like, this probably isn't for me. So I caught the last one, but here's that clip where you can see the car drive by and the person just there. This clip, they are turning, they saw that I was recording, so they're pulling their hoodie to hide their face more, and they've got their arm up right there, which is par for the course for these weird ass people that participate in cause stalking. They hate being recorded, they hate being like seen, and they think that they're invisible. Like, they think that nobody knows and that they're really being James Bond, like, totally covert. And I deal with an extreme amount of stalking at my apartment. Like, foot traffic, auto stalk, like, it's surreal. But, so it's not really, you know, something that stands out. It's more like just rudimentary at this point. But I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna go in until they leave. So I was trying to just wait them out. I didn't want to turn my back and like go inside. I wanted to like see them leave, to like make sure they left, right? Like, I don't know, I definitely wouldn't have slept well or like felt safe if I had just walked away and been like, yeah, they're still there. You know, I don't know. They were trying to wait me out. Like, I don't know what was going on. So I waited out for 38 minutes at 4 a.m. And eventually I'm just like, all right, this is ridiculous. So I'm like, God damn it. Like, I call the cops? Like, what is this? Because I don't want to deal with the cops. Like, I'm not a fan. Every time I've tried to seek help from law enforcement, I've been shut down and harassed further. They've covered multiple things up, and just there's blatant corruption, and, you know, I can't get help from them to save my life, but they jump for Jeff Kuhn and the firm and the rest of my abusers for saying things that Jeff Kuhn doesn't like on publicly, which I don't even get me started. But you know, it's pitiful that I even have to worry about this and that they're so untrustworthy. But like, like, I've gotten the message loud and clear from them, and I worry about subjecting myself to, the cops, because I don't need them to come and be on some bullshit, lying, making some shit up, and helping frame me for something, or, falsely arrest me, or any more of that dirty BS that I already have dealt with so much of. So I really had no interest in calling, but at the same time, given everything I'm dealing with, everything I was dealing with at that point, the lug nuts, somebody loosening 4 of the 5 lug nuts in my back passenger tire, and then removing the caps a second time. The PPO hearing had just gone down. We were right in the middle of Allie Van Orden and Jamie Brizzolera's second round of abusive, fraudulent restraining orders on Rossi's docket. I was being stalked horribly, still am. Weeks prior to that, one of my family members was approached and violently threatened, and the threat was about me. It pertained to me. And then another one of my family members was drugged. And of course, I had just kicked the hornet's nest by, blowing my cover with my mom and Kuhn, and basically letting them know that I knew about their heavy involvement, and just everything going on with this whole nightmare. So, I was kind of thinking, all right, well, let me just call the cops, and at least maybe, if they show up, they can just be like, what do you is there a reason you're here? Like, maybe if there was something that they were doing other than just trying to intimidate and freak me out, could give me some peace of mind. Or maybe just the presence of the cops would be, enough to deter or, scare them off a little bit. So I was trying to be really discreet about it and, silent. So I dialed 911, and I pressed call, and, it wasn't even on speaker or anything, but at the first ring, the end of the first ring, the person stood up and walked left, just straight across, and walked down College towards Fulton, and just left, disappeared. So it's not like I, had connected to the police yet or anything where they couldn't have heard me organically. So I don't know, just it was weird. But then, I just kind of told the cops what was going on, and that I felt unsafe, and that this was a string. There had been several instances ongoing where this type of stuff has happened, and they wouldn't even take the report, let alone send someone out. They were just acting like I was a fucking idiot for even calling, which the relevance of telling this story isn't as much the story of what happened, but the tie-in and timing of the way that Jeff Kuhn and Jeremy Polderman and their communications time up here. Because now the 2 instances where I've had trouble at my apartment complex, my 20-unit small little apartment complex, in which I've actually called the cops, called law enforcement, Jeff Kuhn is closely tied in, timing-wise or relationship-wise. In this instance, he's texting the cousin of my neighbor, David Noland, and then, of course, the actual David Noland attempt to bust in and assault me, that he's my neighbor. And also, obviously, as this shit was blowing up, they yanked my access from the Verizon account. Okay, they changed their password. They wisened up a little bit. So we don't know what happened after this time period, because very shortly after, they kicked me off. I only know that it was happening at this time. It could be happening to this day, but I don't know. So there's no telling when it stopped or if it stopped. I'm not able to see. Jeff Kuhn could have been texting and calling him every single day from, August onward. So I sent a text message in the group chat with my mom about what had happened. I periodically did that to, more than anything, put it in her face, what's happening to her daughter, like the fucked up shit that I'm dealing with, that, most or any normal parent would be appalled and horrified that these type of disturbing things were happening to their daughter in their mid-20s, who lives alone. And just kind of being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how the fuck could you be involved in something like this? Like, look what's happening to me. So on that same note, this was her response when I sent her the same type of message about David Noland trying to bust into my apartment and assault me on December 22nd, 2022. I didn't sleep that night. So I sent it at 7:30 in the morning. And they were on Christmas breaks. She wasn't, at school teaching. She wasn't working. And she saw this as soon as she got up. She got up probably around 9 o'clock. And the fact that she didn't respond until almost 1 o'clock, it would be one thing if she just didn't respond. The fact that she responded hours after the fact, not with, are you okay? Not any type of concern, not anything of the sort, but did the cops find the guy? I'll tell you, it's the response of my mother, who got the text and then had conversations with various associates and partners in crime, discussing what to do about it, what to say, what they need to know, how they're going to handle it. And she was ultimately directed to figure out if the cops did anything or found the guy. So that speaks volumes, in the sense of her absolute lack of care in the world for her children, and the involvement and shadiness of all of it as well. And please note that the Kuhn, Blauwkamp, my mom, the whole dynamic there is so obscure and obscene. It's like, she talks about these, they're divorced. It doesn't, these people are fucking weird, dude. They're weird, and they're purebred criminals. So they have a whole family affair going on. Like, my mom and Dawn are buddies, even though my mom was sleeping with Dawn's husband and father of her 5 children. And Jeff still communicates with Dawn's sisters and his other ex-brother-in-laws. So there's no, bad blood going on there. They're, partners in crime still. So don't let that take away from the shadiness of it or make it feel like a reach. These people are so unorthodox. It's really, really weird. So yeah, there's that element too. Years and years. Can't remember the last time. Been so long. No communication. Shady man, Jeff. You're a shady man. Why lie? Why would you lie about that? Why would you lie? What reason would there be to lie? None. Unless you're hiding something. Guilty ass bitch.